Welcome back, everybody. As you can tell, we are in a little different location. We're actually at my apartment, and we kind of turned the room into a little bit of a studio for tonight. So the other room was busy, but we're here with another episode of the Rundown on the Prodigy.
Magic Man.
And today we're going to go over this last weekend's fights, which was Justin Gaethje versus Edson Barbosa, UFC Fight Night on ESPN, which is actually one I could watch.
Yeah, and I missed it.
Yeah, you missed it.
I fucked up, guys.
Yeah, he made it. It was weird though, because like you said, we had that mistake where it was earlier in the night than usual, so it wasn't.
Yeah, because I was even texting you. I'm like, hey, do you want to catch up, watch the fights? And you're like, no, I'm sitting in the house watching the fights.
Yeah, I was like, I'm hanging out here. I was like, there's a fight left, bro. What are we gonna watch?
And I wasn't putting together what you were talking about yet. But then I showed up to B-Dubs and it's like the main event. I'm like, damn it.
Right. Yeah. Again, just messing with some volume here for everybody, but yeah, no, it was awesome that they were actually able to see them now. Unfortunately, though, they didn't give everybody the heads up that they were a little earlier this night. You know, I think it was about like 2 hours earlier than they usually are. So
yeah, because it started at 6, I believe.
Yeah.
Rather than 9, and I was like, man.
Yeah, it was a great fight though. It was some really good fights. I was really excited about the card, and
from what I've seen, they all turned out pretty well.
Yeah, the fights that we were hoping would turn out good.
I think that I guessed most of them wrong, but they still ended up good.
Did I get most of them right? I think I did.
Because except for the first one that we're gonna talk about. That's the one I picked right.
That's the one you got right. Yeah, I got that one wrong. So let's just jump into that one too then. 115 women's division. Is that the flyweight division or the strawweight division?
Strawweights.
Strawweights.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because 25 is.
25 is flyweights. Yep.
Okay. And so it was Michelle Waterson against
Carolina Kowalewicz.
Yeah.
I didn't even write it down because
that Polish name is so hard. And I heard John Anik say it. I heard him say it two different ways. So I was like, he's messed up that last little part too. So I don't feel too bad that we are messing it up.
They're professionals. They get paid for that shit.
And yeah, like, honestly, like if you're going to come from Poland, change your fucking name a little bit. Shorten it up.
That's what everybody else did when they migrated here. Shit.
So this was actually a really, really good fight. Michelle Waterson actually came out right away and found her distance right at the back. She already knew where this girl was, and it seems like Carolina kind of had a hard time judging the range and getting that distance because Michelle was right away on point. Yeah, not giving her time. And those kicks were keeping her away. It was pretty good kicking her into the cage and stuff like that.
In the middle of a thought, but
yeah, no, it was a really good fight though. And Michelle did what I thought she was gonna do. She came out, she controlled the pace, and she showed that her veteran status.
That's what I've noticed in the last few fights. Is she's coming out with that grind where she's like, I'm gonna push the pace on this whole fight because I want control.
Yep.
And like you've really seen it in the last 3 fights, I believe, because the last one was Felice Herrig. This one with Carolina.
And then I think the one right before that was when she choked out Paige Van Zandt, right? Unconscious. Yep. So that was a really good fight.
She's a woman on a mission right now.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for her too because her goal is she doesn't want to be the first champ. She wants to be the first mom champ. So and she's always got her kid with her in all of her videos. We watch her on Instagram all the time.
Yeah.
Her daughter's always there, and you can tell she's really close to her whole family, not only like her kids, but also her mother as well. She's always like putting videos on. Yeah, Miss Yaya, and she's talking about how the first time she'd lost a fight and her mom was there, that her mom would she was like kind of sad in the back. Her mom was just like, remember this feeling, so you don't get your ass kicked again. Now you work hard. And it's like, so she's like, my mom doesn't give me any. She's all tough love, and that's the reason why I'm so good today.
Right. And, I've been following. Like I said, I think on the last podcast, I've been following her since I saw her on that Master Kenny's. Master Kenny's.
Yeah, Master Kenny.
And like that was probably 4 years ago now, and it's just like she's so cool.
Yeah, she's very good, and again, she's one of those personalities that just she's down to earth. She's really nice, and all of her fans she always talks to. She's always out there, and her they do those like open workouts that they call them for the UFC.
Yep.
She was doing things where she's like kicking bottles off people's heads. It's like she's really flexible. She's got some really good skills, and formal karate and
the karate.
But it's cool to see her actually like stick to those forms and doing that kind of stuff too. So. But again, she came out and she did exactly what I thought. She put that pace, and it was different too because for her older fights, even besides like the last 2 that we were talking about, she kind of came out slow and kind of had to really find her range. To where now I think she's really kind of like in her prime, where she's really being able to find that range right away.
It clicks right away.
Yeah, she doesn't have to have that time where she has to like warm up and get the distance, and I think that comes a lot too from just being with the same camp forever. And
she's been at Jackson Wings for a long time.
Yeah, Jackson forever, and I mean. there's nothing but good things to say about that gym. There always has been, and she's one of those girls that has stuck there. Yeah. But I mean, if you the proof is in the pudding. Like it might not be the best, for people to be there or whatever. But technical wise, they are very good and they have very good game plans. And she's stuck there, and they've always been really good to her. So it's good to see that she's definitely on her way to a title shot to be that mom champ. So
dude, I think she deserves it now, but she's been proving herself for a long time now.
Carolina was.
It's still Thug Rose, right?
Yeah, Thug Rose is the champ. Yeah, that'd be a good one. I think I think Rose is fighting someone coming up.
Yeah, I just saw it because I was looking at all the UFCs coming up,
and there's so many of them though. It's so hard to remember all the names.
Is
all
it
the people.
Andre
Germain or whatever.
Germain, yeah. She's fighting her in June, I believe.
Andre has it.
End of May, June.
Germain or whatever. Yeah. But that's a Brazilian girl. That's right. That's what it was. But that's gonna be a good fight too.
Yeah.
But again, I honestly I hope hashtag.
We'll stutter away to that name.
Yeah. Well, we're warlord names, so. Brock was calling us out on all that stuff today, dude. It was so funny. Professor
Names
Brock,
and records.
Professor Brock, if you're watching this, we're sorry. We will do our research. He's like, you guys just fly by the seat of your pants. Most days, Joe.
That's what I've done most of my life, dude.
It was like most days, Jay just comes in and is like, hey man, we're covering this fight today. And I was like, okay, I think I know those guys. So for you guys, it's just a lot of fun for us to do. So if we do mess up some of his names or we don't seem like we're taking it seriously.
Don't take us too seriously.
Yeah, we don't take ourselves as too seriously either. We're just trying to have fun with this. And a lot of people just come in and like, this is the facts. This is what, we just try to have fun with it. And, a little more as we get going and we kind of get used to this too, we're going to have a lot more fun with this. Like today, we're just going to do this rundown and we're going to have, just talk about some stuff coming up. And we're going to talk about, how Coach Brock was being mean to me today. Or sorry, Professor Brock. So yeah. But again, Michelle Watterson, good hashtag, mom champ. So rooting for her and Carolina again. That was a good fight for her. So she's still in the mix. And that 115 division is it's unfortunately for girls it's stacked. The top 10 of those girls.
I actually think a few of them are moving out.
Are they going up to 25 or are they?
Because Joanna did. I think Paige is probably on her way to moving out.
Yeah, Paige had a hard time making that 15. I think.
Yeah.
It's weird too because we lost some really good girls too that were fighting at those 125s that probably could have made a 15. That girl that she's now doing the bare knuckle boxing, I can't think of the name off the top of my head. Beck Rollins, she was in that 125 division.
Here, isn't she?
She's like from London or something. But
okay.
She's
I've heard
in bare knuckle boxing now. She's doing that, but she was the girl, like one of the first ultimate fighters for the girls. So, but it's weird because some of them they don't make it, and unfortunately the UFC has so many goddamn people in it that if you don't make the cut, especially at those weights where there's not. There's maybe 20 actually really good 115ers in the world.
Right.
At least right now, I'm sure there's a lot more coming up or that are going through the ranks, but as of right now, that there's only really 20 in the whole world that's probably worth getting to the UFC. So it's really hard for those girls, and if you don't make it, they're gonna cut you.
Yeah. Because they probably only have like 6 or 7 115 fights a year, like big fights. I guess they probably have them on the undercards and stuff, but
yeah, they have a couple.
The ones that are actually like really pushed and seen, I guess.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things too. It's a hard weight because the jump is another 10 pounds. For girls, especially ladies, that's a hard range for them. And I'm sure with the the time of the month and all that, they're going to have a lot of things that go on with them that I'm sure makes that weight cutting just such a pain in the ass. And I couldn't imagine being a girl trying to cut weight.
Right.
It sucks so bad. I feel so bad for them. It's like. I definitely see the struggle of some of them, like Cyborg or stuff too. You see, like she's a big girl.
I remember watching her try to cut down to 35. I think
where she was crying in the
was it 45? Maybe it was 40 or 35.
45, yeah.
But
yeah, she's like in the bathtub bawling.
And she's a tough woman.
Paige Van Zandt had the same thing where she had a few videos like that where she said that she thought she was gonna die. She for sure thought she was on the edge of pass now and didn't know if she was gonna wake back up, which is so scary for those girls. Like again though, but they walk around 130. They can't. There's girls coming down from 145, 150. They have to cut to that 115. So it's just hard. They should be more weight classes, but again, it's hard to say that because there's not that many girl fighters at those weights. So eventually, that's one of those problems too. The girls are still very, very.
Because I guess girl fighting's only been being pushed for probably about 10 years now.
Yeah, about 10 years.
So they're about 10 years behind.
Yeah. And I mean, they'll catch up. And again, you see so many girls and so many athletes nowadays too on the guys level just coming out that 10 years from now, I imagine it's gonna be it's gonna be crazy. And I was listening to somebody today, I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how fighting is gonna always be around because it's like, it was Hoosman. I was listening to him on that. Yeah, he was on the food truck with Brendan, and they were talking about how like fighting's natural, like no matter what, that's a universal language. Like no matter where you go, it's
fucking
fighting.
gladiator, dude.
Yeah, everybody knows how to fight. You know, it's like you could take a football to China.
This is the oldest profession.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is. I mean, everybody. It's like it's the most natural thing ever. Like I said, you take a football to China and think, what the hell is that? But you punch one of them in the face, I guarantee you they're gonna punch you back,
right?
Or they're gonna kick you or something. You know, like they're gonna know what to do. They know the rules. Like, everybody knows the rules of that. So it's one of those things that I mean, it's gonna blow up so big too. But all these countries, again, we have people from China, we have people from all these different countries. Africa now, there's like all these.
Well, we can talk about it in a little bit, but the one FC.
Yeah, one
just
FC.
had the big fights this weekend.
Yep. Yeah, we'll get into that too. We'll talk about. But what are those? Are they Nigerian? Is that where Usman and?
Yeah, because Usman's in Nigerian there, and then
the style benders from there. Francis Ngannou is from somewhere around there. I don't know if it's exactly the same place, but it's somewhere.
A different one.
Did you hear that Francis Ngannou never lifted a weight in his life until he went to the UFC performance?
He just salted or shoveled salt.
Yeah, but did you see that? How they do that? They're like standing in like lake high water, like digging sand out of the ground and then throwing it in a truck. It's like, dude, that is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and no wonder that guy's so huge. But then it's funny though, you see him next to like all the people he used to work to, and he's still like twice the size of them.
Yeah, they're all like.
It's like he was eating their food or some shit, you know? He was like stealing shit from them. So Michelle Waterson, that was a great fight. Again, hashtag mom champ. Hopefully that comes to fruition, and after Rose fights her fight with Jermaine, hopefully that Michelle gets that next chance.
Was Rose's last fight against Joanna?
I think so.
Rematch?
I think she beat her. Yeah,
that's a long time ago.
Because she beat her the first time by knockout, the second time by decision, correct? Or was it vice versa, something like that? But,
first time was knockout.
Yeah, and the second time was a decision then. But yeah, so that's a good fight. That's good for the 115 division. Good, and that's another fight that we are looking forward to making that weight after Rose and Jermaine. Whoever wins that. Again, I'm obviously voting for Rose just because I actually met her, so that's nice.
I'm still voting for Michelle.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, yeah, that's later though. I'm just hoping that Rose keeps her title, and then when they pick, or if Rose and Michelle fight, I'm not picking.
No,
I'm not picking. I don't want to pick
that.
Because I like them both too much, but I mean, I don't know. Mom champ. That always sounds good. So the next fight that happened was at 145. I think we thought it was at 155, but these guys are at 145.
Oh, they both cut down?
Yeah, they're both at 45 now, which is Josh Emmett versus Michael Johnson. And if you're gonna, we'll just jump into it, but if you're gonna like say anything about this fight, the first thing I'll say about this fight is it lasted 13 minutes. Michael Johnson won 12 minutes of the fight. He literally won 12 minutes.
That's what I heard.
Fight. And
he just pushed it the whole time.
He got clipped a couple times, and then bam, overhand right. And Josh Emmett had landed that overhand right earlier in the fight, but it was nothing clean, nothing like that. And honestly, that's what I was waiting for the whole fight. I was like, why is he not throwing that, or throwing it with as much intention as he could?
He wanted to make a big finale.
Michael Johnson was doing way better than I've ever seen him do. His stand-up was on point, and he was...
Because he comes out naturally more as a wrestler, right?
Yeah, he started out more as a wrestler, kind of turned a little bit of like that boxer wrestler where he kind of uses his hands more to set up his takedowns. But this fight, he was actually landing a lot of punches, and he was doing that like where you hit him, but you're yelling the whole time. You hit him like 4 or 5 punches, then yell at him, and then you point at him. Like, I know
You're mine.
Like, I know you got, like, I know you felt that punch. Like, I felt it. Like, I know you did. And
have you ever knocked somebody out and you can, like, feel the life go into your hand?
I've never knocked anybody unconscious in the cage.
Well, like in practice or anything?
Yeah, I've knocked a couple guys out.
Okay.
But, yeah. That's the worst, is when you feel the face, like, oh, yeah, it's like they go limp in your hand. It is weird. It is weird. But you've knocked some people the fuck out, though, before.
A couple times.
Yeah. But, yeah, so, again, Michael Johnson was winning. He's doing good landing combos. I mean, Josh Emmett really, up to that point where he landed the punch, didn't really seem like he had much for Michael Johnson, which was really weird. Maybe it was like a stage fright or like a ring rust thing, because again, he had been out for more than a year.
Yeah.
He had some injuries or something that he had to take care of, but it was really weird. I didn't think Emmett was going to fight a fight like that, where he just basically just getting picked apart.
Sat back and got his ass kicked for fucking 12 minutes?
Yeah, for 12 fucking minutes. 12 minutes of the fight, and then boom, it was all, and when he hit him, he fucking hit him.
Just dropped him.
Poor Michael Johnson. Yeah, Michael Johnson. that guy's taken a lot of beatings, man, and I seen that he put on his Twitter, Instagram, whatever, that he's fell before, but he'll get back up. But man, just stay the fuck down. Just stay down.
He's probably at the waning years of his career.
He's got to be, and I mean, there's some fights where Khabib put it on him.
Him and Diaz had a war.
Put it on him. Yeah. And Diaz was, and it's funny because he stole the Diaz thing where he hit him a couple times and point at him. Yeah. You could tell that fucked with him in his fight, so he was like, "This is
I'll borrow that."
Yeah, I'm gonna get this in this guy's head. So big ups to Josh Emmett, man. I mean, he stuck through. He's getting his ass kicked. You know what I mean? There's times where he could probably just went to the ground and just let him get choked out or dropped from some of the punches, because there were some good punches. He just ate punches and just kept coming forward, but just really again had nothing for him. And I think that going to that third round, his corner was.
You need to do something now.
They weren't mincing words with him. It was now or never. Like, you're gonna waste your entire shot over this.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna stand in front of this guy and let him pick you apart. And Josh Emmett, I think he kind of got that fire in his ass and came out and he put it on him. So a big punch, and he definitely with that big punch stamped his way into like the I think he was top 10 right then. So now he's definitely in the top 5, 6, 7 for sure. He's gonna get a bigger fight from this.
Jumping up a little bit.
Michael Johnson again, he's gonna stay in the top 10 just because how good he is until that guy gets cut or something. I mean, he'll be in the top 10 until he gets cut, I think.
Yeah.
Just because again he's one
of
those
guys who've been around forever, like the Cowboys and
it's funny because he seems like he's one of the guys that now seems kind of like a gatekeeper for the upper echelon of fighters. Which
kind of like how we were talking about Diego and Cowboy now, and just those people that kind of seem on the outer rim of the top 3.
And you don't see him get into that top 4, top 5. Maybe top 5 if they're lucky, but nothing much on top of that. So yeah, Josh Emmett, big KO, third round. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with his next fight, just because of, honestly, he kind of like shit up until that punch.
I was just saying, because like, Johnson's good, but like you said, he's kind of like gatekeeper, where he's not really the top division guy. So like, if Emmett goes to fight one of those top division guys, he's just even going to look like more shit.
Right,
he kind of got lucky in this fight.
Exactly, and I'm hoping that it was one, like what I'm saying, either ring rust or just kind of years of being out there for the first time in a year and having a lot of pressure on himself. But it's one of those things, man. Like you said, if he comes out there and he fucking throws this kind of a fight into the top 5, top 4,
because that 45 division is scary.
Yeah, he's going to sleep quick.
Yeah,
nobody's gonna play around with him. I mean, I couldn't even imagine who the top guys are at 45 right now. I mean,
we got Holloway jumping up to 55 right now.
Yeah, he's jumping up, and I didn't realize that was a rematch. I didn't realize he had fought Poirier before, so he beat Poirier before by a decision. When Poirier went down to 45, right?
Yep.
So he's coming up to meet for it. So that's cool. That's interesting. I just seen that fight earlier today. I saved it on my Facebook. I didn't get to watch it yet, but
I just seen a poster of him standing off, but it was old.
Yeah. But that's a stacked division again, and so hopefully Josh Emmett can fix those holes, and hopefully again it was ring rust or something, because he's such a good athlete and he looks so good, man. Like, a lot of it, like the way he moves and everything is good, but he was just awesome.
Just wasn't pulling that trigger.
Yeah, it just wasn't there for some reason. And again, I think it had a lot to do with that ring rust. At least I'm hoping, but if not, he's got to take another year off. He's got a big fucking jump ahead of him now.
Yeah. This is kind of he's at that point where he really needs to push himself.
It's probably now or never and it sucks because he's not having any fights, but where he's at, and maybe he could go to 55, or down to 35, but he's so jacked at 45. Couldn't imagine going down a weight class. I don't imagine going up, but then again, I feel like he's one of those guys that's in between the 45, 55 division, to where he wouldn't be a big 55, he'd probably be a small 55, to where he's not even really that big of a 45. He's just like kind of jacked. So the next fight is one that. This is the one that I walked in on. Yeah, and I wasn't really excited about this fight, just because again, it seemed to me like there's two guys on there kind of way out, or one guy really trying to make his name for someone, and another guy on the way out. And it was David Branch versus Jack Hermanson, and Jack Hermanson kind of just came out and took advantage of the situation where David Branch kind of just got
grab your neck, buddy.
Yeah, he shot in and choked him with a guillotine, like super quick, and it was one of those things where it actually made Jack Hermanson look like a really, really big threat. Yeah, he looked good, and from all the other stuff that I'd seen from him, he didn't have any outstanding performances. So, big ups to Jack Hermanson, because that's a big step up for him. And David Branch again was a 2-time champion outside of the division. He's 205 and 85 champ outside of the UFC. but for some reason he
This is
never
the guy
could
that
put it
you were
together.
saying was like 2-2 and came in and out.
Yeah, yep. He was 2-2 the first time, and now he's 2-2 again, and now
Okay.
he's 2-3 this stint. You know, it's
So
one
it's
of those guys
probably
that
done.
yeah, and it's unfortunate because again he had so much success on like the
Outside.
lower levels out of the UFC, but he just for some reason he cannot put it together in the UFC, and it happens. You know, maybe he's gonna be one of those guys who turns out to be a really good coach. Just couldn't put together. You know, he made it to the end, but I don't know. But yeah, I definitely think that was his final hurrah in the UFC for David Branch. Maybe he'll go to a different again. Maybe he'll be a coach, or he'll go to another division or another.
Promotion.
I wouldn't even think Bellator would take him at this point. Just no nothing against him, but just with the record and you know, like you said, it's one of those things that it's like it's a proof in the pudding. You know, and you know as good as your last fight in a lot of these fights, and I think we've talked about this before. Maybe not even on the podcast, but oh shit, breaking stuff. But yeah, he's on his way out, unfortunately. So maybe he'll go back to you know, like the LFA or wherever he was at before and get his titles again. But it's unfortunate because you know if you made it this far, why would you want to go back down to where you were?
Yeah.
You know, might as well just. And he's an older guy. He's probably 35. You know, somewhere.
Let's call it a day. Go sit on the beach.
And go fucking start a gym. You know, you got a big enough name. But Jack Hermanson, I mean, he's on his way up. He's definitely got another. You know, hopefully they'll give him a top 12, top.
And he was another like Norway guy. I noticed.
Is that where he's from? Was Norway?
He had Norway and Swedish flag.
Okay.
So. Okay. Those guys are making a big name. You got
they are.
Gustafsson, him, and Volkov.
Yep. Yeah, they've been doing pretty good over there. You know, we get and as
Vikings
saying
man.
that you know, fighting is the universal language. So we're getting people from everywhere. You know, we're getting Ireland, we're getting England, we're getting British fighters, we're getting Canadian fighters for years. You know, Brazil, Mexican fighters now even are starting to come. You know, Chinese fighters, they went to China finally. You know, it's crazy how there's people from everywhere. But yeah, Jack Hermanson. So let's look forward to him. You know, getting another fight. I wouldn't assume it'd be a top 10 or anything like that. But
no.
He did. You know, he was third to last on a live show. So maybe he will get maybe a co-main event or something, or maybe he'll stick right around the same spot in the card. It was co-main event. This one was so I'm guessing. So I'm guessing maybe he'll get the co-main event or but you know the fight like the featured fight or whatever they call it, the one night before that. Because maybe it'd be 2 championships or fights or something, you know, that he'd get in there. But hopefully he gets something. And again, it was only 49 seconds, so you didn't really get a good chance to see what he's about. And I've never seen him fight before that, so it's one of those things too. Now that we're really doing these, I'm really starting to pay more attention. And again, we're gonna have fun with a lot of this stuff too. And when we're doing it, we're just kind of.
We'll get better as we go.
Yeah, and we were kind of just seeing how it turned out, and if people would even watch them, or you know, when we first.
You know, this week you say we hit 350.
Yeah, we hit 300. Oh man, but I gotta be honest. I woke up this morning and somebody stopped following us and just unliked our page. I don't know who it is, but somebody did. So now we're back at 350 followers and at 349 likes on the page. But hey, it happens, you know. I'm just glad that we've got this close or this much this far, like in such a short amount of time. We've been kind of kicking ass. So again, thanks to everybody who's been sharing, commenting. Brock's been watching, so that's awesome to see. You know, we've got some really big people actually
watching.
He's
going to hold us to our liabilities now?
Yeah, and he's the one that's like, if you talk about my guys, you get it right. Okay, Professor Brock, you got it. And it's fucked up, though, because I was wondering why the fuck he was choking me so much today.
And give him a little extra tug at the end?
I thought so. I tabbed him, he was like, get Tony's name right, motherfucker. It's like, all right, Brock, I got it. That's how I felt inside. So the next fight was a fight that we were super excited for, and it kind of went the way we expected. We knew somebody's probably going to sleep in this fight. I didn't know if I would expect it to be as soon or as
I thought there was going to be a little bit more. Right. I was hoping like mid-second, early third round.
And I was hoping they were going to go at it. But so it was Justin Gaethje versus Edson Barboza. It was the main event for this past weekend's UFC fights.
This is the one I actually got to see.
And this was one to really watch, and it was awesome because I was wondering who was going to throw the leg kicks first. I think we even talked about this. You know, they both are devastating leg kick guys, and Gaethje hadn't really thrown a lot of leg kicks in his UFC fights so far. You know, he hadn't really came out and first fucking thing he did is came out and kicked Barboza right in his leg. Barboza kicked him right back.
Yeah, he's like, come at me, bro.
It's like these guys are kicking, and they weren't mincing any words or nothing. They were kicking hard, man. So the fight kind of went the way I assumed that Gaethje was coming forward. Barboza was kicking and moving on the way out, but Gaethje set him up perfectly to see that he was just moving back one way and into another, and he just got him to move back and forth, and just he timed it perfect where he moved right into that left hook.
Yeah. See, because I noticed it was one of the first time they kind of stepped
like
in.
one of the first exchanges.
One of the first exchanges. I saw Barbosa get clipped or hit, and like I saw him kind of get rocked, and like
I did
just
too. I
saw
didn't know
that
if he,
reaction
I
in
didn't
his
know if
face.
it hurt him, or if he was just kind of like, fuck this guy.
No, right then, me and Josh were sitting there. I'm like, oh god, it's already over. And then Gaethje just slowly was waiting for it,
marching
catching
forward
him,
and just throwing bombs. And Barbosa was throwing, and he was trying to kick him, but Gaethje was not having any.
No, I felt like he was hurting from the get go.
And Gaethje throws so hard too, and you can see that he throws everything he's got into his punches, and it was one of those things where once he clipped him, he knew it was all over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he jumped on into that last punch, but he knew it was over. He was already running to the cage to do his backflip. Like he's one of those guys too. Like you were saying, like he knows that.
You can feel
when he knocked somebody out. He knew he clipped him, and he clipped Barbosa so hard that Barbosa was actually like his brain was off, but his motor skills were still going because he's doing a thing where he was like trying to grab.
Yeah.
And then you could see like his face and everything was like tense, to where he was kind of having like that like seizing moment where it tenses up in you, you know. But he was still grabbing. I was like, oh, this guy is out, and it's like. He was so out that his body, like his motor skills were like, save me, but his head was like, no, we're going to sleep, bud. Like,
You're gonna just sit here now.
And and Gaethje came out and he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He was, and he's been saying too that I think he was trying to train. At least it sounded like that he was trying to do like a different style of training. And it came down to.
Where's Gaethje train out of?
I want to say in Colorado with Trevor Whitman.
Okay.
I want to say he was out there with Whitman, and Rose Namajuanis was out there for a while at that camp. He could be somewhere else now, but last time I knew he was out with Trevor Whitman in Colorado. But he's comes to bang, man. Comes out to kill people, and ever since this, like he got in the UFC again, he's kind of been hit and miss. But he kind of finally came out and really showed what he does. He showed those leg kicks and going after people. What streak is he on now? Two fight win streak. It's 2, yeah. Because I think he's 3-2 in the UFC now. Okay. So I think he was 1-2. And then he won these last 2 because he knocked out James Vick again. Same thing, came out and just showed what he's about.
Yeah, I remember that one now.
Yeah, and that one was an overhand right. And James Vick went down hard on his face, man. I felt so bad for that guy. But dude, they were talking so much shit before that fight that Gaethje just put it on him. Gaethje was not letting that. And Vick had a really good record. You know, kind of it's a pretty good performance up to that. But Gaethje was like, I don't care who you are, I'm hitting you, and I'm gonna hit you hard. Most people can't take it, man. And his thing too is I think that most people get in that firefight and they like kind of back away as to where he's like, I'm still coming, I'm still trying to kill you every time. So I am excited to see Gaethje's next fight and who the hell he's going to go against. And but Barbosa, it's one of those things where he got the Khabib treatment. You know, he's been knocked. I think he's been knocked out.
Didn't he fight Ferguson too?
And Ferguson, I was gonna say somebody. I want to say somebody beat him up really bad besides Khabib. But again, you know, it's one of those things where he's had a lot of good success, but again, he's never made it.
There was something I noticed the next morning though that he actually had a baby. I think it was like the next morning.
I seen that too. That he got knocked out and he had a baby. But I didn't see how.
I didn't see the data when it was born, but I was wondering if that might have had something to do with his camp, something to do with his mind, you know, because like I said, right from the get go, everybody got hit that first time, something looked off, you know.
It's one of those things too, man. Like
life happens.
He's had a lot of wars too, and how long can your body and mind take all that? You know, it's one of those things that it takes a toll on people, and some people it's 5 punches, some people it's 10 years worth of punches, you know. But at some point it's gonna catch up to you, and you know, unfortunately we've seen that with
all the vets.
God, who's the guy that just had the stroke? I can't remember his name.
Stroke.
Yeah. God. Why can I not think? Crow Cop. God damn it, can I look at Crow Cop? Yeah, but Crow Cop just had a stroke, and he was still fighting up to, I think he's 45 or 46 or something. So
yeah,
he just had a stroke, but says he'll never be able to fight again, never take a punch again because it'll probably kill him. You know, but it's one of those things that after a certain amount of time, man, and he's one of those guys that 15, 20 years he's had kicking people.
I was going to say, he's been fighting for 30 years now.
And when he started fighting, was K1, where he's fighting the best K1 fighters in the world. Then he was Pride, the best Pride, you know, the best MMA fighters at the time in the world. Then comes to the UFC, the best fucking guys in the world. You know, it's like he's never really fought slouches or anything like that. He's always been getting rocked by big, giant guys. Mark Hunt, I mean, Fedor, there's so many guys. And I mean, he went in a 3-round war with Fedor back in the day. So, like, you know that's not good for your brain.
No.
Nobody that fights Fedor ever walks out of that good. Well, maybe the last couple guys, but before that.
Bader got it.
Yeah, Bader got off pretty easy, and even big guy, what's his name? He was in the UFC, but now he's in. What the hell is his name? Football player. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. Matt Mitrione.
Oh. Okay.
He got the rough end of the deal. You know, they did that like I think he beat Fedor, but they both like hit each other and dropped. And he came up, and Fedor was just a little too rocked to come back up to his feet. So yeah, it's one of those things that it's getting old. So I want to see Barboza do 1 or 2 fights, but if he takes any more beatings, he's got it.
Yeah, so he needs to kind of prove himself now.
And I just don't know if his brain's gonna, And he's been up, down. He's been every weight class. So it's really, it's probably coming to the end for that guy. So yeah, basically that was our rundown for this last weekend's fights. Gaethje, big ups to him.
And we finally have a weekend off now.
We do, yeah, we have a weekend off. So just we'll kind of get into that too after. I'll just do a quick recap of this, and I'll tell you.
Do you want to do the 1FCs?
We can talk about those. Yeah, we'll talk about those as well. But so basically,
we still have like 20 minutes.
Yeah, we're good. So Gaethje did awesome. He made a big step up, and now we can jump back into that, top 5, top 6 division. Jack Hermanson, again, that's another quick finish for him, so it looks good, and it's going to get him definitely another step up. But I would think another, maybe can feature fight or headline or co-main event before he actually headlines the show. Josh Emmett and Michael Johnson, again, that was a great fight. Up to that point, Michael Johnson looked great. Josh Emmett, again, he just looked like he was off. Just couldn't get his timing or something. I just don't know what it was. Maybe there was some kind of injury or something, but ring rust, any kind.
What was the kind of injury was coming off of?
I don't know what he had. I think he had some kind of surgery, but I'm not exactly sure what it was. And then again, Michelle Watterson, we're voting for her definitely to get that next title shot after Rose fights and defends her title, or if she loses to Jermaine again. But hopefully it'll be Rose versus Michelle. That'd be a great fight. I like those two. It's one of those fights that it kind of twists, kind of pulls me both ways. Like I like them both, so I'd hate to see them, but again, I wouldn't pick a winner, and I would just be happy for both of them. And I think that they would both go out there and put on a really good show, and it'd be the thing where that fight would be more of like an investment for both of them, and put more eyes on both of them as fighters.
Some stock in their names.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some stock. There you go. That's why you're my partner. I know shit.
I know a couple words.
Yeah, those 4 fights were awesome, and it was probably it was one of the best cards we've seen in a long time. At least that I've actually been able to catch all the fights and watch them all the way through. Again, because ESPN1 and all that stuff has been kind of screwing us up to actually be able to watch some of these fights. We just kind of been stealing highlights, or they've been actually a lot of people have been doing they're streaming the fights live and shit, so you can go back to their Facebook and people are kind of stealing them, if you will. But I haven't done that yet. I don't plan on it. But so that's our rundown for that. What we got kind of coming up now is we're gonna do some of the 1FC fights. We'll talk about probably just 3 of those fights, the 3 that I want to talk about.
Okay, because I only know about 2 of them, but there's coming up with one.
It's coming up. All right, so what? Let's talk about.
So with Eddie?
Yeah, start with Eddie, because that one didn't. Yeah, let's go with that one.
Okay. So, I just saw the highlight of it. Comes out the first round, gets hit a couple times, shells up, and I was like, "What's wrong with Eddie? Why didn't he come to fight?"
Right.
This fight
finishes right away. Wrong with him.
And then I saw the pictures the next day, and I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, you seen that picture of his eye? It looks horrible. Yeah, but for the people that didn't see, Eddie Alvarez fought. I'm not sure that the gentleman's name
broke his orbital,
but he came out and it looked like within maybe 30 or 45 seconds of the fight, he got hit, and it actually split his eyelid all the way up both sides, all the way down, and split it. And
his eye was just rough, purple, like the inside, like the white of his eye was purple.
Yeah,
and
red, showed those few pictures where it was like the one was split, and the next one was like stitches in it, but you could see, like I said, that blood, and that, it's like it looked like he had a scab over his eye.
Like it almost looked like they stitched his eye shut so he can't open it.
Right, that's what I was wondering too, because again, it split both ways, and that's your whole eyelid. So every time you blink, that's what I was wondering too, because it looked like there was. Again, like a scab over his eyeball.
Eddie's always been a tough guy. He came out and fought, and he just backed up to the cage right away and went down. And I was like, what?
Yeah, and like you said, he broke his orbital, so it was just and one of those things, man. Eddie's been in so many fights. It was just
which kind of got me excited for these 1FC guys. I'm like, where the fuck did they come from?
They're beasts, man. Those guys are scary over there. Like, oh yeah, well, I was just gonna bring up the one you're gonna bring up. I won't bring it up. Cause I seen that a few days. I just haven't sent anything back to you yet. Cause you sent me the video of it, right? The one we're gonna talk about that's coming up.
Oh yeah.
So So Eddie Alvarez again. I mean, and he was part of that big trade from ONE FC to the UFC where we got Ben Askren for Demetrius Johnson, and then we got was there somebody else or did we get Ben Askren for just the two?
Else. Yeah.
So they just gave Eddie Alvarez and
See, I don't know if Eddie got traded. I think he just signed over.
At the time. Yeah, because I think maybe he was a free agent. So yeah, but we traded. Well, I guess fucking the UFC, America. Yeah, we traded to the ONE FC over in Korea or whatever it is, for Eddie Alvarez for Demetrius Johnson, and we got Ben Askren, which Ben Askren just fought and had a weird fight. But then Eddie Alvarez.
But he talks so well.
He does talk well, and he makes one of those guys. I want to see him get his ass kicked, or you really want to see him kick somebody's ass. Right. He's one of those guys. There's no real.
I just want to listen to him talk shit. I don't even care if he fights anymore. Right. Get him commentating, please.
We should just get him in a room with Anderson Silva. I just want to see him talk shit to Anderson Silva.
What?
Yeah, dude. Just because Anderson Silva's the best of all time, and Anderson Silva will be like, "It's okay, it's okay, we fight." And then he'll be like, "Yeah, we'll fight, but I'll wrestle you to the ground. It's okay, it's normal." I mean, just imagine that should be so funny. Eddie Alvarez, was a free agent, and he went over there, and unfortunately, it wasn't a good showing for him again. It's just one of those freak accidents. So, and I don't think it's one of those things where you see what happened. It's not gonna take anything away from him. They'll give him another shot, you know.
Yeah, and like he was a world champion Bellator, world champion UFC, like
Bodog world champ.
Bodog?
Yeah, Bodog world champ.
Okay, yeah. So he's.
Let's wait for your time, buddy. That's for us old school guys.
I'm not as old as you.
That's when Nick the Goat Thompson was still fighting, bro. So old times. Dan actually killed that guy. Dan? Yeah, our coach, our professor. Dan, he actually broke Nick Thompson's knee in a jiu-jitsu tournament, and there's no more Nick Thompson after that.
never walked again, guys.
Yeah, no, he doesn't walk the same for real. That is not a joke. Dan Obert, I'm how we told that story. It's real life. It happened. No, so then Demetrius Johnson fought and
did his normal DJ thing.
Yeah, came out with like 2 minutes in the fight, got the guy against the cage, did his choke, and jumped out, and I was like, okay, like that's what we kind of expected, you know. That's what he did to every 125er besides this last fight against.
But he did it to him the first time.
But he did it the first time, which was awesome to see Cejudo come back and fix those holes, man. That was a great fight to see. And honestly, it sucks for Demetrius Johnson, but it was crazy to see a guy fix the holes like where you're dominated that much in a fight and then come back and just win against that guy. It was so crazy.
But
I was hoping we were gonna find a third one of those.
Oh,
I won the third DJ versus Henry Cejudo.
Yeah. I think this is a better home for DJ.
I think so too. He'll get more eyes and shit on him.
Well, not even that. It just fits his personality better.
Yeah.
Because when they have the light heavyweight, is it light heavyweight?
Yep.
Okay. When they made that announcement, like just the way that they did that instead of like talking shit, like can I please have a chance for your title? That is such like Demetrius Johnson. Whenever you hear anything about him, that's the way he is.
Yeah, and the Asian culture too, video games and shit like that is very popular. And I'm sure a lot of that streaming and shit happens over there. Because DJ makes a lot of money.
What's that thing he does?
Which one?
There's an app that he streams off of.
Twitch.
Twitch, yeah. I'm sure that's huge.
That's one that hopefully, that's really big over there. So hopefully, and I was just actually, we were having a conversation with my buddies the other night how people are doing what I'm calling double dipping, where they're streaming live on Twitch stream, and then people can actually donate while you're live on there, and so people actually donate you money while you're on there, so all your followers are on there. So some podcasts are doing that, and then they'll record live at one time, and then like 2 hours later they upload it to YouTube. And so they get double, so they're double dipping on views and getting people to watch and getting money off that.
That's so solid. Semi pay grade.
Yeah, that's way too much. And once we're like in the sponsors, so once you get, once you send in Twitch got 1,000 views, and then YouTube got 1,000 views, 2,000 views. So it's however much they pay you for that many views. It works out really well for a lot of them. They're getting a lot more money that way, and a lot of those video game players, like Ninja and a lot of them, they found that out really easy or really early to get that easy fucking money for those guys. If you're good at it, it's very easy.
So buy an Xbox.
Get one. I got one. I haven't played Fortnite in months, and since I started the podcast, I haven't even fucked around with it.
DJ came out and did his thing, and
again, of course,
showed the world why he's the best.
He's one of those guys too that's a big good name for him because there's a lot of those weight guys over there, and they give a lot of credit to those smaller weight guys over there. But the big thing we were talking about is their heavyweight champion, Brandon.
Is it heavyweight?
Vera. Yep, he's their heavyweight champion.
Oh, he's coming down the light heavyweight.
He's going down to 205, bro. And have you ever seen that guy without a shirt on? He has the biggest traps I've ever seen in my life, dude. When he fought in the UFC, he fought at 205 and heavyweight, and he said that he was going to be the first two-time division champ at the same time back in the day.
Yeah, I missed
so
that.
It didn't work in the UFC, but it sounds like it might work in ONE FC, which
no,
is
like, you know what?
Promotion.
I'm so happy he's still fighting, because I remember when I first started getting into the UFC, he was one of the first guys I noticed.
Yep.
Because it was back when he was like on that 4-fight win streak where he was just knocking people's heads off.
Right, before fought Tim Sylvia, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like he was just so exciting to watch, and I loved his back tattoo. And I just saw that kind of shit, but
and his little dance at the end of it.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
I just loved it.
Have you seen any of his ONE FC fights lately?
I have not.
Bro, look at them highlights afterward, dude.
He's still coming to bang.
He's kicking people in the fucking dome. Just the head kick after head, and then he's knocking them down, and then we're on the ground because the ONE FC you can kick in the fucking head and stomp. He's just soccer kicking dudes in the head. I couldn't imagine that dude soccer kicking me in the face, dude. Dude, it's wild, man.
Pride too.
The one fight I want to go back to, I guess we kind of skipped through, is Gary Tonin. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt under Donner. He fought and won, and then ONE FC as well. So he's 4-0 as a pro now, and he's kind of making his big run up there. So I'm looking.
He was just in Minnesota, wasn't he?
Gary Tonin.
He did a seminar, I believe.
Gordon Ryan did. Gordon Ryan is black belt under Gary Tonin.
Okay, man,
and then Gary Tonin has his black belt under Tom DeBlas, who has his black belt under Ricardo Almeida, who has his under Renzo Gracie. So it's like there's a big lineage of it. Yeah, I'm super deep in jiu-jitsu right now, man. So I could name this shit like crazy. But yeah, Gary Tonin is but Gary Tonin is the guy who gave Gordon Ryan his black belt, and so now he's 4-0 and came on. Just basically do what Donner tells him, man. Takes him the fuck down, gets on top of him, and just beats the hell out of people.
Perfect.
Donner's like, that was the game plan. That dude, I only read like 20 minutes. Like, if you read any of these things, it takes you 20 minutes to read it. Because it's like, most people write this, he like writes like, and then he has like, follow-up post coming tomorrow. Like, fuck you, dude. You talk way too much. And he throws me off too because, and I love Donner and his test and his like skills and teaching shit, but he throws me off because he always uses like Japanese names, like Gordon Ryan does it too now. Like they call it the leg lock something, some ushigari or some shit that like, dude, I can't remember this shit. Just say like leg lock or say, you know, it's like.
Can you make it simple for
I have to study Japanese now to be a good black belt. Too. So yeah, that was a good fight. But so looking forward to Brandon Vera against and I'm not sure the young guy's name at 205, but he's been knocking people out too.
He's a Japanese man.
Is he Japanese?
It looked like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he's from exactly, but he's been winning a bunch of his fights too, and you hear a lot about him. So he's a champ now, and Brandon Vera's gonna come down.
I'm hoping this ONE championship makes a name.
I hope so too, and I think they're gonna try to do an American event.
These were on TV here.
Were they actually here?
Because they were on like TNT or something. Okay, I kept seeing them. And I was super confused because it said Monday, but the fights happened on Sunday, but they happened like really early in the morning. And
yeah, it's weird. It's one of those things that you always wake up to hear the results of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. So that's exciting. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. So we'll probably do, and again, for the next few weeks, we're not going to have any of the rundowns here. We're just going to have just regular podcasts with me interviewing people. Jay's probably going to be in the background running the camera and stuff. Hopefully for some of them, we're going to go up and this weekend, actually, we have Damon Hill coming down. Damon Hill from Valhalla Combat. He has the Trash Talk podcast. You can follow that. I think it's on Facebook. It might be on Twitter.
He's got some good content.
Yeah, he has some really fun stuff. We made that pretty funny video the other day for April Fools, which is awesome. A motivational video, which was pretty great. So go ahead and check out Damon Hill. He'll be on the podcast hopefully. Next week it'll be on. We're supposed to meet up this weekend on Sunday to film it, and so that'll be good. He's gonna come down and roll with us. Him and his buddy Jonah are gonna come down, and then eventually I want to get Jonah on as well because he's pretty up and comer in the MMA scene and in jiu-jitsu as well.
I think we fought last year on the same card at Ironworks.
You guys did?
Ironworks, but Three Rivers.
Yeah, and he won as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I've heard pretty good things about him. I know he's a second or third stripe blue belt, and so and he's a really nice kid. When I met him, like I said, we were at the last tournament. Me and him were up for submission of the night, and he ended up winning by just like a draw. It was like, all right, pick a number between 1 and 10. I picked 6. He picked 7. The goddamn number was 7. Mm-hmm. Like, how fucking lucky is that?
They winked it off.
Yeah, they winked it on. 1, 2, 3. But and Jonah, he's a good guy, and for him too, it was the fight of the night or the submission of the night like honors thing, or the trophy they gave you was like a proper 12 or whatever that Conor McGregor's whiskey is.
Yeah.
And I don't drink anyway, so I was like, yeah, you boys have it. And so right away he took it, and they did big cheers and shit. And I was like, I'm out of here. We'll drive home now, an hour and a half. So, yeah, but he's a good kid, so he's gonna come down. Him and Dave are gonna come down on Sunday and train. We're gonna try to have a big open map, try to get as many guys as we can. And then me and him will film and do that. And then the following weekend on the 13th, we have Austin Heedledge, who is from Ironworks.
Is he coming up here, or are you going down there?
I'm going down there. We're gonna go. You can come as well.
Yes.
They have their fight camp going on right now, so we'll get down there and we'll get a spar with some of them.
Get punched over.
Gary Conkle and some of those guys are down there. You know, some good guys.
Dude, you're gonna run into a couple big wrestlers, dude.
Probably.
When I was down there a couple weeks ago, there's a couple monsters.
Yeah, I'm worried. Their fight camps are pretty rough. I told him I was jumping for the roll-in and stuff. I'm not doing sparring, but I want to get some pictures of him sparring and maybe a couple like short clips I can add into the podcast while he's training. And then, he has a fight coming up August 27th, or April 27th, I want to say, or the 26th.
27th or 8th,
It's the following weekend of the, we're going to have the micro wrestling on the 20th, so that's a Saturday, so it's the following, like, the 27th, I think.
Would be a Saturday.
Yeah, so it would be 27th is when Austin Heedledge is going to be fighting, and that's at the Three Rivers Throwdown in, is it La Crosse this time?
No, it's in,
On Alaska.
On Alaska.
Yep, so Three Rivers Throwdown on Alaska. At their
Omni Center.
The Omni Center, yep.
Oh,
that place
shit.
is awesome. I love that place, dude. I fought there a few times too. Alaska is awesome. So yeah, Austin Heedledge will be on. Again, check him out. He's at Ironworks. He runs a lot of their fight camps. If you're a fighter and you're in the Holman or La Crosse area, this is the place to go. You're gonna get your ass kicked, but it's the place to go. You're gonna learn, and they have a lot of good guys. Ian's there, John's there. They got Garrett, they got all kinds of guys. That's where Travis came from. So they've got a really good group of guys over there. And again, we're gonna go up there and we'll get some video of him and stuff. And then after that, we have the one that we're looking forward to, Micro Wrestling Saturday.
Oh, dude,
For all of you guys, Saturday,
this.
April 20th. The Micro Wrestling Federation is coming to Rochester, Minnesota. They're gonna be at the Grand Marina. And we're going to do a 15-minute podcast interview with Flying Ryan. He's one of the main stars of the Micro Wrestling Federation. Guy. And yeah, he is the heel. He's the guy that they call the most hated micro wrestler in America, which is awesome. And I was kind of worried at first, as we were talking before, I was worried, like, is he going to be a wrestler? Is he going to be like a regular guy? So I've actually seen some interviews of him, and I've actually tried to reach out to him. I haven't heard back from him yet, but some of the videos I've seen, he's just a normal guy, just likes to do fun interviews and just kind of talk. And so I think we'll actually be able to get more of what our podcast is about, where we kind of get to know him and kind of where he's from and how wrestling helped him, and so it seems like it's going to be a little more that way. And otherwise, I was had a little bit of an idea of kind of like wearing a suit and showing up and kind of do more like the wrestler, like, what are you going to do to him, like, are you going to kill your opponent, but it sounds like it'll be just a regular nice interview, 15 minutes, so we'll just get a few questions with him, probably maybe 4 or 5 questions, get him to, and then he'll probably throw out some shout outs to where we can find him and all that. And again, you guys can find him on Instagram, you can find him on Twitter, you can find the Micro Wrestling as well on there, and Facebook, Micro Wrestling Federation. I don't know exactly what Ryan's handle is right now on all of those. I think it's motherfucking Ryan, or motherfucking Flying Ryan, or something, Flying motherfucking Ryan, something like that. But
something along those lines.
We can post it again on
Google it.
Yeah, Google it, Flying Ryan from Micro Wrestling Federation. It'll come up, and again, he's one of the most famous guys from that whole group. It seems like, and it seems like he does a lot of their interviews and stuff with him. So I'm really looking forward to that. And the micro wrestling shows, I don't know if you've ever been to one, but they are freaking amazing, man. They're so much fun. Like, both guys jump off the top rope, but they have to jump off the second rope just because it's so yeah. But I think this one's actually in a smaller cage, so it might be actually like built more for like the micro wrestling style, as to where like a big cage. And then they do have the main event is El Torito, I think is how you pronounce it. But he actually was a wrestler in the WWE, and so he's gonna be the main event for that night. So it's gonna be a big show, and a lot of the Micro Wrestling Federation wrestlers.
I was just gonna say, you know who's making the pro wrestling debut?
Who's that?
Cain Velasquez.
Is that true?
I just seen something the other day about it.
I've seen that too. I didn't know if it was.
It's always true. It's on the internet, man.
Yeah, I mean, Ronda does it. My mom was talking about how she hates Ronda Rousey. She watched wrestling. She's like, I hate her. It's like, why? It's like, she just runs her mouth like she did the WWE. It's like, yeah, now nobody can really beat her up. She stopped running her mouth when she started getting head kicked, though. I noticed that. But yeah, so
I'm not gonna do this for real anymore.
Yeah, no. Honestly, man, after that last girl beat her up, I can't think of her name.
Nunez.
Yeah, Nunez. Oh, that girl's a beast. And she beat up Cyborg. I'm excited to see that girl's next fight. So again, the next 3 weeks is just going to be straight podcasts. We're going to try to get out as many as possible. This is going to be the one for the Micro Wrestling Federation. This is basically the pre-show. It's just kind of talking about advertising it, and after the
get your tickets now.
Yeah, get your tickets. They're on sale. We'll have the link once I share it on Facebook and all that. There'll be a link to that, to the actual event. You just click right on there, buy tickets right from there. But we'll have a 15-minute interview with him, and then we'll have our recap of the wrestling show and kind of who stood out to us besides Flying Ryan, and kind of how it was to meet him and how that all went, and just basically how we thought the show went. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then tonight we actually got confirmed that Professor Brock Larson is going to be on the show. We just got to figure out a time, and then Maurice Green as well from the UFC is going to be on there, the Crochet Boss. So again, you can follow Brock Larson he's on everything. I'm sure he's on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And Maurice Green, he's under the Crochet Boss. You can follow him on all that stuff too. So hopefully we'll get a hat from him or something. We can buy some from him.
A handmade hat.
Yeah, he makes all those hats, which is pretty sweet. And he's actually got his next fight coming up. So Brock was talking about how we're gonna have to get him on a podcast soon before he heads out for his training camp. They're actually saying that he can't go to AT&T because the guy he's fighting is actually from the same.
And that's where Tony goes.
Yeah, that's where Tony and all them are. So yeah, so it's a little bit of close to home fight for them, And Brock again has been with AT&T for years. He's now with the Start BJJ, but that's basically that's who his jiu-jitsu team kind of is. But MMA style was the AT&T down in Florida. So yeah, we're really looking forward to all this stuff, and all these podcasts coming up, and the next few weeks is gonna be great. Again, follow Damien Hill, follow Austin Heedledge, Micro Wrestling Federation. That's all coming out. The Trash Talk podcast is from Damien Hill. That's honestly, it's really fun, and they do a really good job of
local MMA
fights. Yeah, and they're doing a big thing for all the amateur fights coming up, for all the amateur fighters and up and comers, and they're going to be doing a lot of stuff on there too. So I'm excited to get Damien on and kind of promote that a little bit from our side as well.
You know that last one they did? I think it was one of the last ones where him and Thomas are on.
Yep.
It was really cool to listen to them talk about how much they wanted to try to help these local scene guys.
Yeah, these amateur fighters.
Especially being one of those guys, it was just awesome,
And they, and I don't know if you watched a lot of that, but they gave you a hell of a lot of credit for all that you've done, and they're talking about how good you came up and the big changes shit in you. So they did an awesome highlight video too. And yeah, if you've seen any of this stuff on any of our pages or anything, me, Jay, or I think the Wow Look at Me Now page even shared it. Jay had a pretty good highlight from his last fight, which he won an aimless decision. We did a little post fight about that as well. And Damien and them actually made that highlight video for you and for the fights. And he's been doing a lot of good editing videos lately and shit. So I'm really excited to kind of talk to him and pick his brain a little bit about editing and what he does for his editing and shit and how he does that stuff, because he's been doing really good with a lot of that stuff. But again, go ahead and follow those guys and follow us. And again, we hit 350 likes yesterday. This morning I woke up, it was 349, but get us back up. And again, our goal is 400. So if we can like, share, comment, subscribe to the YouTube page, anything helps. Word of mouth. Tell somebody that might like it. Anybody that owns a business that might want to sponsor us or get us out. We have a sponsor right now. It is Justin Cobalt at Precision Detailing. It's right here in Rochester, Minnesota. I always have the number for his stuff at the end. There's also a Facebook page, Precision Detailing LLC on Facebook. I've been sharing that out lately. I kind of just, it's one of those things where I share so much stuff I kind of forget that there's so many different pages I can share out. So again, check him out. Get a hold of him if you're in the area. Get your car detailed. Any kind of vehicle you have, really, he does a lot of that stuff. So thank you to Justin and all of his help, and thank you guys for tuning in and checking us out on the Prodigy.
Magic Man.
And this was the rundown. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.